Taschen just published this big, beautiful brick of a book, the Book of Color Concepts. This isn't just up my alley, this is like the architectural plans for my alley. It's great. The quality of the color reproductions, the quality of the scholarship that went into it. I'm in awe of Sarah Lowengard and Alexandra Loske's work here. This book puts into your hands many rare and obscure color diagrams. A lot of them you probably won't encounter anywhere else, not even online. You see, before the advent of CMYK printing at the end of the 19th century, it was expensive and laborious to produce books with color illustrations. Often they were hand-painted in limited editions, like the color chart in this 1835 edition of Field's Chromatography, which was gifted to me, a version of which is included here. So yes, this book is a trove of rare treasures. The editor, Alexandra Loske, is known especially for her research on women color theorists who were sidelined by art history, by the double whammy of patriarchy and chromophobia. You know, women can't be authorities, and color is a corrupting influence. Dr. Loske, for instance, is the reason we even know about Mary Gartside, the first woman to publish a color theory treatise. Loske's introduction to Volume 1 explains that bringing more diverse and obscure color theorists to light was a major goal of the book, and it did not disappoint. Mostly. I'll explain in a minute. I was very pleased to see sections on not only Gartside, but Emily Noyes van der Pol, Dr. Christine Ladd Franklin, Carrie van Biema, and others. Van Biema is, I should point out, the most influential color theorist you've never heard of. She's the missing link between 19th century and Bauhaus schools of color theory. Like Johannes Itten, she learned color theory from Adolf Hölzel, a German expressionist painter, but she more thoroughly tied together all the threads in color theory teaching at the time. Her book, Colors and Forms as Living Forces, amalgamates Hölzel's ideas with other German theorists from the 19th century, like Goethe and Schreiber. And heck, Albers copied van Biema's adaptation of Schreiber's triangle diagrams word for word in his smash hit, The Interaction of Color. So why isn't Carrie van Biema known today? Unlike Itten and Albers, who enjoyed long, successful careers and whose influence is still felt in university design courses today, van Biema was cut short. She was Jewish, her books were burned, and she was murdered in the gas chamber. So you can see it's very important to the authors and to me that van Biema and other forgotten figures are brought back into the light. This is not just a coffee table book, it's a book doing important work. I'm also very happy that you get some of Dr. Christine Ladd Franklin's diagrams in this book. Her theory about the evolution of color vision developed in the 1920s was cutting edge. But, Ladd Franklin is the only woman scientist included in the book. That's not to say the artists and teachers and spiritualists represented in the Book of Color Concepts aren't valuable. They absolutely are. It's just to say that there are one or two important women scientists who could have been included instead of, a second chapter on Chevreul or a third chapter on Goethe. For instance, Dorothy Nickerson. This is a color fan she developed for the American Horticultural Society in the 1940s. She was the color technologist who, in my opinion, made the Munsell system possible. She had her hand in every aspect of the development of color science, color standards, colorimetry in the 20th century, and her name isn't even mentioned in this book. So that's my only nitpick in an otherwise stellar collection of beautiful, weird, obscure, and important color ideas. And to be absolutely fair, Dr. Loske says in the introductory essay that this book is not meant to be a complete history, but more like a playlist, a mixtape of important and obscure and cool stuff. If you think this book is up your alley too, you can grab a copy through the affiliate link on my link tree.